All right. Well, welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm Zarathustra, um, broadcasting from Tulum, Mexico. And the topic of today, we're going to talk about self love. Uh, One of my participants asked me to talk about it, and I haven't talked about this for a long time. So we're going to just dive into that. I'll talk for a while, and then we open space for asking questions and then getting deeper into it. So this is a major issue most people have. I mean, I would say probably 99% of humanity is dealing with this issue on regular basis, which the lack of self-love or self-acceptance. And but in order to understand that, you just have to go deeper inside and delve into the roots of why we deal with something like this and why we're suffering from uh, this issue, and a lot of us may not even be aware of it. So um, there are times like it happens, like the consciousness mechanism kicks in and we just become aware of that we're dealing with this. But for a lot of people, it takes years before they get to that point of recognizing and realizing it. So the and there's different levels in it. And because first of all, I mean, as far as I know, there is no, doesn't matter what country you live in or where you're at, there is no department uh, that of self-hate or something like that. Like no one's going to send you, deliver a mail to you every day or come and knock on your door and show you a piece of mail saying that you're ugly or you're not wanted and you're dumb or whatever. So nobody sends you an email. Basically, we are the ones who tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, maybe I'm stupid, um, or I'm not pretty enough or handsome enough or whatever the story is. So we're the biggest critics of ourselves. Now, I understand you may be, in childhood, maybe we were in this position, like we had abusive parents or brothers, sisters that told us that we're not good enough or we're dumb or whatever. Uh, but not in your adulthood. I mean, it's possible you're in a dysfunctional relationship. It's a toxic relationship with somebody that they tell you this. But for most human beings, adult human beings, we have passed that stage. And hopefully, so uh, that somebody tells us we're not good enough. And basically, we're the biggest critics of ourselves. And this is going back all the way to the early stages of our development, which is in our childhood. And for whether we got criticized or traumatized, I mean, something had pulled the trigger, and then this belief system comes in. Uh, and that we're not good enough, whatever the reason is, and whatever narrative story that we have for ourselves, uh, that we tell ourselves consciously or unconsciously regarding that, you know I can't love myself, I can't accept myself, because a part of the mind is always that we're comparing ourselves to other people, other situations, um, our brothers, sisters, or our peers, or the standards that our parents or society set up from the beginning for us. And so hi Eric, nice to see you, my brother. Welcome. So hi Eva. So anyway, the this is an issue, and it's like an epidemic, and it's just as potent and dangerous as the sense of feeling lonely. So there's two things. We'll get into the loneliness maybe another day, but for now we're just going to focus on the fact that this thing about I'm not good enough and I don't love myself. So the very truth of it is, I mean, if the more expanded you get, the more you awaken, become, the more self-realization comes in. And this mechanism is working of realizing and looking at ourselves and going deeper within. Uh, the more you have an opportunity to get to the roots of it. And at the very, very roots of it, for me, after years of like searching, looking, wanting to become one with God, sitting with all these different gurus, teachers, and spending so many years and times in different countries at the presence of this awakened masters, what at the very end of this whole journey happened was there was a moment. I remember I was in Sedona, Arizona. This is like in 1998 or 2000 or something like that. There was a moment that because I was going to this duality with myself all the time. Like, why am I like this? Or I have all these like positive stuff, and then I have all these negative things. So I have my dark side and I have my light side. And so how can I love myself and accept myself when I have all this darkness inside me? Or so it was impossible to do that because there's all this self-judgment is coming all the time. And one thing I realized, like, it doesn't matter like what you look like or what kind of shape you're in. Your mind is going to use that as an excuse. And then if you're in a perfect shape and perfect looks or whatever, then your mind is going to go find something else and uses something else as an excuse. So you can beat yourself up. And I'm very much sure, like most of you can relate to this. And maybe some of you maybe have transcended this issue, but the rest of the humanity is really struggling with it. So the very key element of this that I realized it just had to happen at one point was that I was listening to one of my teachers and I started to realize that, wait a minute, I am an expression of the absolute. Okay, this is how God has created me. And same as everybody else. Everything in the outer world is an expression of the absolute. So it's like the creator, the consciousness, God, which doesn't really have a physical form because it's not an object, has manifested itself in all these different objects. There's a remote control, there's a phone, here. There's this shirt, there's this body, this guy named Zarathustra, and there's a couch back there. So when I went deeper, this realization that everything I look at, everything I'm dealing with in this life, I'm smelling, I'm eating, I'm um, breathing, touching, it is an expression of the oneness. And that's same as all human beings. Now, in the human beings, you can have good people, there's bad people, there's evil people, there's all kinds of stuff. But when I went really deeper inside and I realized that, wait a minute, this is how they have created me. Okay? I didn't self-make myself. Something has created it. And this is how they want it to be. I mean, this is how God consciousness wants this to be, with its dark side and the light side. And this is it. This is as good as it gets. And there's nothing really I can do. Of course, I mean, we all want to make improvements, but there's nothing I can do in this moment to change anything about this. But what I can do is maybe I can accept myself the way I am. So when I started to accept myself the way I am, with my light and with my dark, light side and dark side, then space opened up for loving myself. Self-love became available, because the part of the mind that is judging all the time of the way I am, my behaviors, things I like, things I don't like, blah, 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 all these stories, and all this comparison, all the time comparing myself to other people, it slowly started to disappear. I mean, every once in a while, the mind comes and does its thing, because the mind is like a dog. You can't have a dog and expect your dog doesn't bark. That's the nature of dogs. They're going to bark. And the same thing is with the mind. The mind is going to wants to blah, blah, blah. This is the way it works. And this blah, blah, blah is doing is that is going to self-judge itself. It's just going to tell you, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're whatever the story is. And we all have that story. So at this point, if you can go beyond your stories, whatever story you have of yourself, and really dive deeper and really look at the fact that your being is pure and your being is God, that's why you're alive, and you begin to accept yourself the way you are, with your good and bad stuff, just accepting yourself and not judging yourself and not having any stories about it. Then the space opens up. The space opens up and you give yourself an opportunity that you can love and accept yourself for the way you are, because now you're not judging yourself. And then when that happens, also in the same time, you become kind of indifferent in the fact that you're always going to be judged by other people. That is, everybody's going to have an opinion of you. So once you settle this thing with yourself, then you kind of don't care what other people think about you. Because if you're there and you want to get into a popularity contest, or you want to get into everybody's accepting you and loving you, you're in deep trouble, because you're going to have to spend your whole life trying to get people's approvals, and that's not going to work. So that's the very roots of self-love and self-acceptance. Now, you may want to come to the human level, and it's like, okay, well, how do I demonstrate self-love? I mean, there's many different ways of doing that, of demonstrating self-love. Is number one is to take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself, and just kind of being true to yourself, as far as the number one thing is not really physically taking care of yourself. That's really good. But the very first step of it is really honoring your truth, whatever your truth is. You just become, you're becoming honest to honor your own integrity, whatever that is. Like, I really don't want to go this weekend with my girlfriends on this trip, but I promised, but I don't really want to go. So you're going to cancel, and you're going to disappoint some people, but then you're honoring yourself, because down deep you don't feel like doing it. So I'm using different examples. So the number one thing is honoring yourself, and just saying no to and not really forcing yourself to do the things you don't want to do in your life. They don't sit with your being very well. I mean, we all have to do things sometimes we don't want to do, but overall is like really honoring ourselves. So that's one of the things. And then, of course, then you can go deeper and taking care of yourself physically, uh, taking care of your diet, taking care of your looks, taking rest, exercising, whatever, buying yourself a nice thing, going to the spa, whatever, that's self-care. Well, that's in, different levels, or diet, or whatever that is. It's just really, it's like getting into taking care of yourself. And one thing we need to understand is also this: people can mistaken self-love with being narcissist, and because it can swing from this place that we're judging ourselves and hating ourselves, and it can just swing into this place of becoming narcissist. So I'm not referring to that. What I'm referring to is the recognition of the fact that you are created by some source, and this is exactly how the source wants you to be. If it wanted you to be different, taller, shorter, bigger, smaller, whiter, darker, more intelligent, less intelligent, richer, or poorer, whatever, you would have been that. But you're exactly the way God wants you to be. And if you see that, then you begin to accept yourself, because you have to acknowledge your dark side. I don't know if we talked about this last time or not. I know I talked about it in the workshop in Warsaw, but there's no way that we can transform to a higher level of consciousness without really acknowledging your dark side. It's just like no way. And this is what a lot of people in the spiritual world do, is all the emphasis is on the light. You know, I'm pure, I'm vegan, you know, I don't eat meat, you know, I only use organic stuff, blah 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 blah. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have sex. You know, whatever is the story of purity is, that people think they're doing, that, you know, they're light. You know, I don't use this language, I don't watch any violent movies, I don't watch porn, I da 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 da. So it's like a lot of emphasis on being light. But there's, you can have light in your life in the third dimension without dark. There's no such thing. You cannot carry light and not carry darkness, because this is the dimension of the opposites. They both come together. The more you go towards light, the bigger comes the shadow of the darkness. And this is something really like a lot of people miss, and they're struggling with it. I know thousands of spiritual seekers that the deeper they go, the more confused they become. And the more of a mess they are. And they keep taking this course and that course and this retreat and that retreat, blah, 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 reading this book, that book, jumping from one teacher to another. But at the end, their life is a mess. It's like they're not getting anywhere. They're not getting anywhere because they don't recognize this very simple truth, is that you have to acknowledge your dark side. You have to look at it, you have to acknowledge it, you have to eat it, chew it, digest it, because you have dark in you, whether you like it or not. You have a murderer in you, you have a rapist in you, you have a greedy one in you, you know, you have racist in you. We all have that inside us. And then yes, you have the Christ quality, you have the healer, you have the love, you have the Mother Mary or Mother Teresa. You got both of them inside you. They're both there equally, as strong. So you have to recognize that. Hi, Monica. Are you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what do you suggest we do to look? I mean, it's always easy to look at the light side, but how do we look at the dark side? What do you suggest?
This is simply, I mean, with the recognizing it, you don't need to talk about it to anybody or anything. You see it. You just see how your mind is judging. You can see, you know, a lot of stuff and becoming aware of it. And but no judgment. Like, oh wow, you know, I got this racist part of me in me. It's just acknowledging it, that okay, it's there. You know, people talk about like uh, money corrupts, or power corrupts. That is not true. The seed of corruption is already inside us. So I have the seed of corruption inside me. Money just enhances it. It's any of us here, okay? We have no idea if all of a sudden they put you in a position of power, absolute power. Who knows what you're gonna do? This ugly monster may come out of you all of a sudden. That you have no idea that you're capable of doing things. The thing is, we're not in that position, but we have no idea. And I've seen it. I've seen it in spiritual world with the gurus and their gurus, lieutenants, generals, like in the beginning, how they are, and then as they come to power and they become the main person, the right hand side of the guru or left hand side of the guru, and all of a sudden you can see how manipulative they become or how prejudiced they are. It's like the same person was very submissive and they were like really like this, da, 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 da. Now all of a sudden they came to power, and then you can see like this monster has come out. And that's in the spiritual realm. I mean, if you're in a corporate world, like Anita, you're in a corporate world, and you see it. Any of us who've been at one point in corporate world, we have seen that. Or anything. You work in a restaurant, and it's like, let's say 30, 40 people are employees. You can see, like in the beginning, someone comes in and they're very humble, and as they get the power, they just change. So the key is to recognize that and just accept it. Okay, yeah, I got this dark side. Whatever. I mean, dark side could be anything. Could be anything. Dark side. Could be your fantasy of whatever the story is, or I don't know. Maybe, I mean, there's so many different things that I can use examples. It's not one thing. But you recognize that, you accept it, you don't judge yourself, because I mean, look, the dark side is like did I talk about this last time? Listen, look, there's this beautiful tree, huge, it's like a banyan tree. And this tree is like 1,000 years old or whatever, 500 years old. And it's huge. And there's thousands, hundreds of people can come and sit under this tree in summertime and use the shade and cool off. And all these beautiful flowers comes out of this tree. It's gorgeous. It's healthy. But then it's got roots. And the roots, they go very deep in the earth, and it goes to so many different places. And the roots, they're pulling nutrition, water, minerals, whatever it is, and bringing to the tree. So the roots are under the ground. So you want to look at it that way. So that's your dark side. Your roots, the parts that goes under the ground. It's dark. But you need it because from that place you're deriving the energy from the earth and the minerals and the water, and you're bringing and kind of processing it to this beautiful tree. So this beautiful tree cannot exist without its roots. Um, Go ahead, Ava, you have a question.
No, I just wanted to say that once I started recognizing these things, these dark sides, like my impatience, or that I was in a hurry all the time, or that I was complaining or judging, once I saw it in myself, it was like, oh my God, really? Do I do that? But then somehow I was seeing it in other people, like even more, it was like a big stuff for me when I saw somebody very impatient and aggressive, for example, because of this impatience or being in a hurry. And it was like, oh my God, so this is, he shows me how I am as well, behaving sometimes. So I don't want it. I mean, Monica, because you asked how to deal with it. Once you recognize something inside of you, in my experience, it was that I was seeing that in other people, like very exaggerated, and it was like boom in my head. Oh, I don't want to do that anymore, and it was like also the process of healing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, also, I mean, when I talk about dark side, let's say, I mean, you're really holy, da 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 da, but a part of you uh, really enjoys if you're, let's say, one of your successful friends, if they fail and they lose their money, or if the relationship breaks, and as part of you down deep gets really likes that. Down deep, you want them to fail. Or it's your best friend, or it's your sister, or your brother, or whatever. On the surface, you're pretending, or you're saying like, "Oh, I love them, and I want them to be successful." But down deep, you really want to see them fail. Okay, I'm talking about dark side. Let's say when behind closed doors, when no one's around, you like to go and watch, I don't know, child porn. You get off that. That's what excites you. Okay? It's the dark side. I'm giving you examples. I'm not saying that that's what you are or not, but look for these things inside yourself.
But Zarathustra, what do you mean that if these dark sides are our roots where we get our nutrition, do you mean that this dark side can also be the fire, the energy?
Yeah, because you were in the third dimension, this is a dimension of opposites. So you can't have one part without not having the other part. It's impossible. It's like the more, for example, I mean, there's a great song from the Depeche Mode, Get the Balance Right. I don't know if you've ever heard it or not. This is from the 80s. And let me see if I can remember the lyrics. For example, the more successful you become, the more famous you become, the higher chances that you're going to fail. The more higher you go, there are also forces that is gonna just make you crash come with it. And we can see that with famous people. Like they get really successful and then they commit suicide, or they lose it, or they become drug addicts or something. It's like, if you look at it at different facets of life, you can see it. Like, no matter how high you get, now you can expect the crash of just going through lows. I'm not scaring you. What I'm saying is they come together. You can't have one without the other. It's impossible. Let's say you fall in love with someone and you have this wow amazing love affair and passionate and everything. At one point, it's going to crash. At one point, you're going to have to. At one point in your life, you're going to have to experience the opposite. Maybe not with that partner, but you're going to have extreme pleasure. You're going to have to experience extreme pain at one point in your life, and whatever it is, you know, not necessarily the relationship, but somewhere you're going to have to experience it, because that's how it is. They come together. Unless you transcend it, you go to this state of transcending it. Means, it's like the pyramid. It's a triangle. So I remember it was like a long time ago, and my buddy Prayoga Ernest, my brother, this beautiful black man with dreadlocks, who became my brother for forever and is still my brother, even though he died in 2014. So Ernie he had his style. He would never push anything on you. And our characters were different. So maybe I'm pushy, but he was like very subtle. So I remember he left this book on my bed, my apartment on the bed. He would never come and push you and say you got to read this or you got to do this or don't do that. He would just kind of he was a master. He would create a situation so you would do it on your own. So then you will figure things out on your own. He was a total master. Later on, I realized what a master he was. So he leaves this book, and it's from Osho. You guys know Osho? Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, Osho in the 80s. Uh, does anybody know Osho? Yeah. Anyway, the guru with 99 Rolls Royces, who went to Oregon and they started the ranch and blah, blah, blah. It's a long story. Anyway, he leaves the book there. And it's called The Way of the Heart, or The Way to the Heart, or something like that. I don't remember exactly the title. But I remember I opened up, I take the book, I had the beautiful cover, I open it up, and the first page says, I am all there is beautiful, I am all there is ugly, I am total. And I read this, and it's funny, as this long time ago, I'm still like a kid and very innocent and new to this whole consciousness business. And I read this, I'm all there is beautiful, and I'm all there is ugly. I am total. And in that moment, it just literally felt like somebody punched me in my third eye. I mean, I literally experienced it. Boom. Something hit me in my third eye, and I just fell down. I was on the edge of my bed, and I just fell down on the bed. And I was just like gone. And it just took me like 2, 3 hours for my mind to comprehend, like, this is coming from this guru, enlightened being with millions of followers, and he's got power and he's got all these things. And then, what do you mean I'm all there's beautiful and I'm all there's ugly? I am total. Of course, it took me intellectually. I was talking to Ernie, and Ernie was explaining things to me, so intellectually I understood, but I really didn't get it. So it took another like 20 years, 25 years until it really clicked and I realized it. And then, as I started to teach, I started to understand a lot of the stuff because I was teaching them. And then they started to just click. And then in recent years, I started to even realize it more and more than ever. It was like, wow, this is the dimension of duality. And it's just, you can't have one part without the other. It's impossible. So you have to accept both sides of yourself. And then when the judgment is not there, it's total acceptance and self-love, then it transcends. You're going to go to then you go beyond good and bad. The concept of good and bad dissolves. Then there's space for transformation. You can enter into fifth dimensional consciousness, because there's no duality, there's no story there. It just is. It's total acceptance of everything. Yeah, go, Elijah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just. It just feels congruent and in alignment, and yeah. What you're sharing.
Yeah. This is a. I mean, it takes a long time. A long time. It may take you 20, 30, 40, 50 years to come to this understanding. Forget about the no spirituality right now. It's just totally off. Because it's just focused on all the goodies. It's like zero focus on the dark side. Or it's focused on traumas and, solving your childhood traumas and da. It's just very one-dimensional kind of teachings that doesn't have much flexibility in it. So, and there aren't very many teachers that they recognize this and they get into it. Everybody's into creating a situation that you feel good. Let's do breath work, or let's do meditation. Let's just change your feelings so you feel good. It's like they don't recognize the fact that you need to go in the dark side of yourself. You have to go through that journey. And it's not pretty.
Yeah, I do feel that all of my teachers have recognized that part of it.
Well, that's great for you.
Yeah. So I'm lucky to have some good teachers.
Yeah. I don't see, when I cruise through internet and I watch a lot of people, I don't see it. I don't see much in neo spirituality. I barely ever see any kind of emphasis. I see about trauma healing and stuff like that, but I don't see anyone getting into that. I don't see any of these big teachers saying, like, I have big darkness inside me. Everybody's acting like they're holier than the Tao. And there's no way you can transform to the higher level of consciousness if you cannot go beyond good and bad. If you're stuck in the concept of good and bad, oh, saving the forest, saving the animals, saving the planet, um, saving the waters. Many people are stuck in that place because the planet doesn't really need your help at all. I mean, that's just a huge ego trip for a majority of people on this planet, that they're trying to save the planet. The planet doesn't need you, believe me. You need the planet. The planet doesn't give a shit.
But there is like this element, of what you are denying, it persists, and like what you resist, it persists, and it's like these deeper levels that, like, if you look at what it is you're resisting and denying, and that's the dark, right? Then, and also that the darkness is grounding. I experienced that my teachers talk about that, but maybe they don't talk so openly about it in the first encounters you have with them. But it is like when you get into their field, and like the more you understand the deeper levels, then it comes there. But it doesn't, it's not what is like exposed in the beginning. It is like it takes some time to get there somehow. Well, it's like all these layers.
Let me make it very simple for you, okay?
Yeah.
Because again, if anybody has got the guts to do it, I would say kudos to you. Congratulations. I haven't come across many people who have the guts to do it in my spiritual career. Very few people, they've got, the balls to go through this. Everybody else is going to run away. Just look at yourself, how manipulative you are, how you manipulate things, and then you will see your dark side. Just look at it, how manipulative you can be with, like, whatever situation. If you want a man in your life, if you want a woman in your life, how you are with your parents, how you are with your kids, how you are with money. Just look, just objectively, because this is like dark. This, once you get into it, you're going to start shaking, because you're going to see how manipulative you are and how you twist things. And of course, you don't want to admit it to yourself. You're just gonna point. I'm not talking about you necessarily, Elijah. I'm just talking about
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about us. Just get
and I do agree with with you. And there's a lot of bullshit out there.
Not out there. I'm not talking about out there. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. Forget about out there. There's nothing out there. It's just self. And see what kind of lies and bullshits and stuff like that you tell yourself every day. And you're projecting it on other people. Just spend some time and get in there, and you see there's a lot of shit. And it's scary. Oh, it's frightening. But as I said, not many people got the bullocks to dig deep inside, because you have to look at the shit, and it's very, very easy to just project it to the outside world, because I don't have any shit. It's other people. I'm pretty pure. I'm awakened. It's them. They're unconscious. They're the ones who eat meat or kill the animals and destroy the forest. It's not me. I don't do that. Oh yeah, really? You don't do that? All these really righteous people that they're. I come across a lot. In Los Angeles, I was coming across a lot of them. That they're like saving the planet, and they're not going to touch meat, and yeah, but they want to be driven a nice car. Well, aren't you driving a car? Well, aren't you just putting some gasoline in the car? And the tires, they're made from chemical stuff. Aren't you using these things? Because if you really want to be purist, then you should just kind of get away from all of this technology and not use it. Because you're contributing in pollution and everything. So how come those things are not being considered? You're not looking at it. You're only focused on being vegan or vegetarian. Okay? So, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I go to yoga, I wear my crystals and malas, and I meditate, and I'm good. Well, you're using all these other products, and somebody has to make them for you. If you really want to be super pure, then you should just kind of disconnect from all these other stuff too. So it's kind of like self-hypnosis of only looking at the parts you want to look at and kind of ignoring the rest of the stuff. And that's what we've been doing most of our lives. Not even being aware of what we're doing. Any other comments? Anyone want to share their thoughts?
Something I think about also when we talk about this, it is like that it's like sometimes embracing some so-called aspects that we have judged as bad and dark sides can help us to actually evolve to our next level. It is like, for example, maybe we have like a sibling or a parent or like authorities that we judged them as being like greedy or taking up space, or they are like...
Elijah, I'm sorry, but it's really hard for me to follow you, because I don't really feel like you're talking from your heart. I feel like you're talking from your mind. So I really have a hard time focusing on what you're saying. So I don't know. What are you saying?
What I'm
I don't get
saying.
it. Can you just
Okay.
Can you just get to the point and keep it short? Because I don't I lose I cannot focus on what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just being honest with you. I just lose you.
Yeah, thank you for being honest.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
You're always you can always count that this is what you get from me.
Yeah. And when you talk about that.
So what are you saying? Just make it in one short sentence. Because I don't get it.
I don't know if it can fit in one short sentence, but I have had people in my upbringing that are very, very like direct and assertive and also honest in a way that I have been like taking it personal. It have like felt like they have like belittled me somehow, but they have been direct and assertive and honest.
Okay.
And me, I was like this person. I wanted everybody to like me, and I thought that I was supposed to like everyone as well. So I didn't want to be assertive or honest. And now I'm starting to acknowledge these people and actually appreciating that they are honest and direct and assertive, and maybe sometimes they are saying things that maybe are a little bit unsensitive, and maybe I don't want to embrace that part in myself, but I want to embrace that part of me that can be honest and direct and say what I want and say no if I want to say no, and to be direct and honest. And I have judged that part of me as something bad, and it's like not good, and I don't want to be that way.
Now where we're at, you have transformed that. You recognize that. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that I'm acknowledging and I'm embracing that aspect of me. And I also had these experiences when I was younger that I actually got punished if I did that.
Right.
So it has been like a part of me that I'm afraid of being punished if I offend people, or if I say what I want, or if I say no, or if I'm honest or direct. And now I'm actually embracing that and acknowledge that part of me, that it's okay if I say no, it's okay if I say something, and it's even okay if people take it personally, and it's okay for me to be direct and honest, but it's challenging for me because it's like I'm still being
well, you're not the only person. Everybody is gone or going through that. So I know it seems like you're the only person to you, but that's not true.
No, of course I know that I'm not the only person.
Yeah, you're not.
Of course. Definitely not.
Elijah, I'm just gonna because I appreciate what you said. Is there anything? I got it. I understand. I think everybody else understands what you're saying. So, yeah, cool. Julio. Hi, Eric. Nice to see you, my brother. Welcome. I can't hear you. Maybe you unmute yourself. No, you can't unmute yourself. Ava, can you translate that? No.
Wycisz się, wejdź na mikrofon, bo ciebie nie słyszy, Zarathustra. Chcesz coś powiedzieć?
Or maybe he can't unmute it. It's okay.
Maybe he can't.
Right. Cool. All right. So It's nice seeing everybody. It's nice being back. Uh, I was looking forward to it. I have an announcement. We did find an amazing retreat center that we're going to have our retreat in Poland. Uh, you want to tell us a little bit about this place, uh, Eva, about the Oleski?
Yeah? Yeah, we have found a place in Mazurian Lake District. It's beautiful. It's going to be only for us. We've got there some rooms with bathroom and showers. There is a lake, so we can swim, we can kayaking, we can do lots of things, beautiful things. And of course, we will be with Zarathustra, with his teachings. And I'm very glad that in this place there will be no other groups like in Kawkowo. We will be totally into the teachings and the energy that Zarathustra is going to create, and of course all of us. So we are very happy with Jurek and Zarathustra.
And thanks to you and Jurek for finding it and securing it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we have the entire place to ourselves. It's like when we were going to Bustoman in Ore in Sweden back in the day. This is our own place, and the Masurian Lake District is part of the country in Poland that has a lot of beautiful lakes. So our location is we're right in front of the lake. So I made adjustments into our retreat that our lunch breaks is going to be 2.5 hours. So like from 12:30 or 1 o'clock till 3:30. So prime time of the day, we can be swimming or sunbathing. Um, and also we have free boats, kayaks, bicycles. There's a beautiful sauna that we have. There's we got the fire pit. We got a lot. They're just giving us a lot of free things that we can use. All the bedrooms and cabins or all kinds of wherever, everything has its own shower and bathroom. And the place is very, very clean. They're very excited having us there. And the fact that we're right in front of the lake, like you can just go jump in the water. We don't need any transportation or getting anyone's permission. So there's no restriction, and the place is okay. If you want to have a drink at night, they will serve you a glass of wine or whatever you want. So there's no like limitation, like you can't do this or you can't do that or whatever. You're free to do whatever you want to do.
That's incredible. When are you going to post it?
Yeah, I'm going to post the link by the end of today. So Amir and I have been working on it. So because first it was another place, and it was in Nova Kavkova. So then when we shifted, I had to redo everything because there's a whole different stories with the rooms, because they were not giving us the right places. So they were just going to give us the dormitory and with and or camping. So
which is the month? Which is the month you're planning?
This is August 10 to 17th. And then also we created transportation for any of you flying into Warsaw Chopin Airport. So we're going to pick you up and take you to the Oleski, right, Eva?
Yes, yes. Gostiniec Olecki.
Yeah. So we're just going to drive you there, and we're going to bring you back.
You have a topic, or it's
yeah, the topic is discovering the 7 mysteries to self-awakening. That is the topic. And this time, per your request, we have all the schedules set up. I know there were people who wanted to know what are we going to do next. So now when you go on my website, it's just have set schedule for every day. Like, this is what we're going to do each day. And we're also going to have, I think it's on Thursday, August 13th, I believe. So it's from 10 to 17. Or 14th is the healing day. We're going to be, because normally it's the 5D quantum healing and awareness. It means like the entire retreat is about teaching healing. But this year I'm changing it. So, but then we're going to have one day which is going to be emphasizing on teaching healing practices and also third eye activation. And then the next day, which is going to be on Friday, which is on the 15th, is going to be our Shaman's Day. And our Shaman's Day is our main day. You know, this is the day we all get together. We're drumming, singing. We're going to be painting ourselves. And we're going to do shamanic rituals. And we're going to invite the shaman. But the rest of the time is going to be about the self-awakening teachings. And as
That's wonderful. And another question.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Are you planning to come back to Frankfurt again, or is this cancelled?
Am I planning to come to Frankfurt? Yes. Yes, I am planning on coming to Frankfurt. We're going to work it out with Susanna and Andreas. So most probably I have to figure out the dates. Yeah, do you still want me back, Susanna? You want me back?
This is outside from Frankfurt the Ring, I guess. That means
yes.
it's like last time.
Yes. So I don't think we're. I think that phase is over with Frankfurter's Ring. You know, so this is a new phase.
So. Yeah, I think when we plan it, we must start with a little group, and how you said, maybe in our house.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. The first thing first, I need to just put the retreat together and put it out, and then as soon as this is done, and then I will jump into the next thing.
So, this is in August in Poland, and then we are going to end of the year very soon already. So.
Pardon me, I'm not sure if I understand. What are you saying?
Yes, in Poland the event is in August. After this is finished, it will be going to the end of the year. So it's not sure. I think that this year you will come to Frankfurt. You understand?
No, I don't understand.
She means August, from now to August is not so long time. And at the end, from the retreat in Poland to Christmas, it's also only a short time. And she thinks that it's not enough time for you to come in this between.
Right. To
Frankfurt.
No, it's not an issue because I've been doing it for the past 12 years, 13 years. I come to Europe 3 times a year. So August, November, October, November is my fall tour. And then maybe February, March, or March, April. April is my spring tour, and then I have my summer retreat. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
No.
So I'm asking because I like to be sure you're coming, so I can schedule myself when I will see you.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I say I'm coming, and there's another thing if God wants me to come or not. I mean, the boss who runs the show.
It's always the others.
Yeah, it's always the power of consciousness, whether it's going to put it together or not. Because, yeah, I mean, we always make plans.
Yeah.
But for me, is with a blink, okay, because I don't know. What happens if I break my leg before I come to Europe? Well, I'm just saying, it's possible. I'm riding my motorcycle and something jumps in front of you. You hit it.
We're not speaking about this.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have an accident,
Yeah.
or if you're sick.
Or what happened like in March of 2020. I was going to leave on April 1st to come to Europe, and then all of a sudden pandemic showed up out of nowhere. I mean, nobody saw a pandemic coming.
No.
So all of a sudden everything changed. So yeah, we make plans, but we don't know the future. I mean, nobody knows the future. We don't know if it's going to happen or not. So anything can happen. All of a sudden, there could be a new war happening, or I don't know, whatever events happen in the world. The intention is, yes, we're going to have our retreat, which we're heavily. I mean, I'm heavily invested into this retreat, and my two partners, Yurik and Ava, they're heavily invested into the retreats, because we have been putting a lot of time and energy and money into it. So, and we're hoping it's going to happen. But if suddenly, all of a sudden, Poland goes into war with Russia, what am I going to do? I can't. We're going to have to cancel.
Cataclysmic thinking, just please stop. Everything is going to be good.
No, but I mean, listen, by me just saying these things or not saying these things, it's not going to make it happen or not happen. So put that mentality away, because I know there are people like, oh, don't say anything negative. Well, I mean, I've been saying, like, I'm waiting for $50 million coming to me. Well, and I've been saying it for past 30 years, but I never got it. So if my words are going to affect existence, so I don't look at it that way. So don't worry about that. We're talking about reality. Reality is anything can happen at any moment.
I understand. You can say that everything can happen, and it can be like destroying the plan, but you don't need to give all these examples.
No, I'm giving the examples because
about your accidents and blah blah blah.
Oh, these examples are the reality, Eva.
Yeah,
I know, but it's nothing that says everything can happen, and I just.
Right. Well, the thing is, Eva, we in past few years have seen it very clearly. I mean, who was expecting the pandemic? I mean, did you ever think in your life, any of you, that there's going to be a moment you can't even go to a restaurant to eat?
I understand that, but I don't know. I just don't want to hear when you so many times say about your accidents and things like that. It's just
these thoughts are the same like the root of a tree.
No, but we know what it can happen.
All right, so let's just think about good things.
Try to make like half an hour of speech about that. What can happen? What can happen?
Once more back to coming to German. I think you in Poland have this big luck to have a community from people since years. You have enough emails and addresses. I will that Zarathustra's coming back, but Andreas and me, we really start. It's more difficult. And we need so many trust. Because maybe we find 10 people, maybe 4 people, maybe 15 or 20 people. And then we start on a little way. If Zarathustra says, yes, it's okay. And then we do it only in our house. So please, stay in trust, Eva. Everything is fine.
I am in trust. I am. I'm optimistic.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
All of it goes back to one thing. And we go back to the principle of the teaching of 5D quantum awareness, and which goes back into, as I said before, hundreds of times, and I'm going to emphasize it one more time. I don't have any free will. So I don't know. I will go where God takes me, when it takes me. So I have all the intentions to make all these events to happen. They may happen, they may not happen. So let's just leave it like that for the moment. So anyway, we're gonna I'm gonna put the retreat on my website, and then feel free to reach out and connect with us. If you have questions, and then we can just explain things to you. So that's hopefully going to happen by the end of today. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Finally.
I know it's a lot of work. I mean, you would imagine, because I've been working on this since, I don't know, September. I was trying to, no, what is it? Where are we now? No, it was like from the beginning of the year. So it looks like it's easy, but it's not. There's just so many details. Like you have to keep going back and redo things and making sure that you got it right. So, and then when things shift and change, we're moved from one place to another place, then now you have to do a lot of things again. The pricing, the rooms, the photos, all the extra stuff that we're going to be getting. But this one, I think, is going to be super amazing because the location is amazing. The team is amazing. I have you beautiful people supporting me, and we're all on the same page. So I think this is going to be like boom. And also the way, go ahead, Susanna.
A short question: are there instruments, or must we bring the instruments? Because this is a bit difficult with the plane.
Right. This it's not a spiritual center.
I know.
Right.
I saw
so yeah, you can bring your own thing, whatever you want to bring, a shaker or a bowl. For the shaman's day. You don't have to bring major instruments, but whatever you can bring. We do have yoga mats there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the place is gorgeous. It's clean and pristine. And the part that we're really impressed, and Yurik and Ava and I were very concerned about, we were very much emphasizing to find a place which is clean. It's deluxe. It's more on the luxurious side, but also the price is right. So it's really hard to find that you got the luxury, cleanliness, all the stuff, but then you don't have to spend an arm and leg to get it. So, and that thanks to Yurik and Ava, because they put a lot of time and energy finding this place. So I'm very grateful to them. Yeah. Cool. Well, it's really nice to see you all. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And just feel free to reach out. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you to all of it.
Sending you
Bye.
Sending you lots of love, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
The Europeans have a good night, and you have a good day.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Kiss, kiss.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.